Rings that don't tarnish are made from metals or finishes designed to resist oxidation, discoloration, and surface wear over time. In this video, I'm answering real pre-purchase questions about how these rings feel, look, and fit into everyday life, including cooking, active use, and mixing with fine jewelry. You'll get clear, confident answers you can rely on right before buying. So if I lose rings that don't tarnish, will I feel less upset than losing solid gold? Yes, most people feel less upset losing rings that don't tarnish than losing solid gold. The emotional weight is usually lower because they are more practical and replaceable. You'll likely still care, but the stress level is typically much smaller. Will rings that don't tarnish make my hands look more polished or more casual? They can make your hands look polished when the design is sleek and highly finished. Shine level, band thickness, and detailing matter more than the material itself. Minimal high polish styles read refined, while brushed styles look more casual. If I already own fine jewelry, will rings that don't tarnish feel out of place in my collection? No, they don't automatically feel out of place with fine jewelry. How cohesive they feel depends on style, finish, and metal tone, not on whether they tarnish. If the design aligns with your existing pieces, they blend in naturally. Do rings that don't tarnish feel smoother or sharper around the edges? They generally feel smooth, not sharp. Most well-made, non-tarnished rings have polished or rounded interior edges for comfort. Any difference you notice usually comes from craftsmanship, not the material itself. If I wear rings that don't tarnish while cooking, will they still look good afterward? Yes, they will usually still look good after cooking. These metals resist staining, water exposure, and normal kitchen heat. Grease or food residue may sit on the surface, but it rinses and wipes off easily. Would rings that don't tarnish change how often I actually wear jewelry? Yes, many people end up wearing jewelry more often. You don't have to take them off for hand washing, workouts, or cooking. Less worry usually means you keep them on instead of removing them constantly. If I later switch back to traditional jewelry, will I miss rings that don't tarnish? Many people do miss the ease of rings that don't tarnish. Traditional jewelry often requires more care, polishing, and caution. What you'll likely miss most is how effortless they are to wear. Do rings that don't tarnish look more shiny or more matte in real lighting? Most look more shiny in real lighting when they have a high polish finish. The appearance depends on surface treatment, not the non-tarnished property itself. Brush finishes look softer, while mirror polished pieces look very bright. If I have very active hands, are rings that don't tarnish actually worth it for me? Yes, they are especially worth it if your hands are very active. They are more scratch resistant, water tolerant, and low maintenance than softer or plated jewelry. They handle friction and movement far better in everyday life. Would rings that don't tarnish make me feel less anxious about ruining my jewelry? Yes, they typically make people feel much less anxious about damage or wear. You don't have to worry constantly about water, sweat, or minor impacts. That metal ease often changes how freely you wear jewelry day to day.